Hello everyone, how's it going? It is 9:12 a.m. and we are here looking at the stocks. We have three to look at. OCX, ANCN, MCEP are all first day stocks. These two are first day. Green day, this one's actually red day. It's the sketchiest one of them. All I put worst here because if you look back, not at the price action, but you look back at the volume, you see that it's traded a few days with a lot of volume. And considering the fact that today is up a bunch compared to this range, it's probably going to have some bag holders from here, maybe even, not the day before wouldn't be a bag holder, but it would definitely be people taking profits perhaps, as well as this day maybe, depends on how much volume. We're at 2 million so far, and that thing traded, 8 times the amount. So yeah, it might be some bag holders. That's why it's up the least. I don't see any setups with this so far. I would be interested in just watching it because it's a second day. It's actually not a first day. It's a second day, and this thing has a tiny float of like 500,000 shares. So that is ridiculously small. Even though it's not acting like it, it could be a crazy low floater. This one's acting more like a low floater, 57 million share float, but it's this first green day, and it is definitely making some movement. It could have some people that are selling their shares into this. That is totally possible, but it's not as bad as this guy, I think. This guy looks a bit stronger when you look back. Yeah, it's falling, sure, but the volume isn't like what it is right now. OCX is the first one, the spookiest looking candle right now. It's also a first day. It had a big volume day here, but those people who traded this had plenty of time to be selling into this uptrend. It's not like it's been falling and only now it is up. So still chances that people are going to be wanting to sell their positions, dumping their shares, affecting the overall price action. It is a first day. We'll keep looking to see how it does. It traded more volume here back in January, but I don't know. All of these stocks have this now. You see almost every stock having a big volume day previously that could affect the way it trades. But we'll just keep looking. Again, we have this in order. Oh, it should be in order by percentage. Why isn't it in order by percentage? Don't ask me. It should be this guy first. There we go. Yeah, ANCN is my top priority. I'm still watching CRIS in case it does the breakouts, the multi-day breakouts over 840. I should tried yesterday, failed. If it manages to do it with the right amount of volume, news, it could do it, and it could make a nice run. Otherwise, I'll just stay on the other screen as a watch. But for now, ANCN, OCX, MCEP. Probably won't trade MCEP just because it's a second day. But it wouldn't be bad to watch it. Most of these stocks are down a bunch the second day. This one isn't. We'll watch ANCN, OCX, and I'll probably look at the chat room, see if there's anything else that I missed or any OTCs that I should probably look at. It is 9:25 a.m., 5 minutes till the market open. ANCN, I'll be interested in seeing this do some kind of a, inverse head and shoulders. It's already potentially making a shoulder. It doesn't have to. But if it drops at the market open and then it curves back down, makes a shoulder around this range ideally, that'll be a reversal. The second higher low, that'll be a great buy. Backed up by news and volume. It could do pretty well. OCX, I'm not too interested in it so far, but it is a big percent gainer. Volume's okay. I'm just kidding. Volume's great. It's the most traded stock actually here. Inverse head and shoulders as well. Although it doesn't seem like It might trade something like that. I guess it's very wicky. It trades very spiky. Who knows? And MCEP probably won't touch this. It looks like a descending triangle right now. I can short it, and this one is kind of weird. 3 million share flow was easily shortable. It didn't even ask if I was willing to short, because you have to pay a margin. That wasn't a thing. It just shot the order right then and there. That's why, when I tested something shortable, I changed the price to something way above where it is at the moment, so I don't get that. I don't accidentally get short right then and there. And is this a short pattern? No. I mean, look, we have a spike. This spike is actually higher, even though it's just a wick. It's higher. It did make a lower low. Here's the first lower low. It could have held here. It didn't. Made a lower low. If it does a nice spike and doesn't get higher than this range, maybe, but I'm not too interested in it. And MCEP just keeps falling off a cliff. I don't know if I'll short that or not. Probably not, because it's a very small float. Only if it were to have a nice spike and then make a lower high and then risk off that high. Otherwise, probably not. I'd rather be long. I like inverse head and shoulders. And we'll see. ANCN might be a setup to trade. Either way, we'll just keep watching. It is 9:33 a.m. ANCN. Nothing right now. Is actually having a big drop right here. I don't see any clear patterns that I would like to trade, so I'm not trading it. I actually looked. I knew something was off. The flow, I had it wrong. It was at some point the percentages were different. I don't know. Something happened. Anyway, the flow is actually 3 million, and OCX is the one that's 57, and that makes much more sense. MCEP, even though it has a nice 500,000 share flow, 450 share flow to be exact, it's just probably gonna remove this guy, but I'll keep watching it. It's just not doing anything, and there's no way in heck I'm just gonna randomly short it. That's stupid, especially given the float. ANCN, disappointing to see this drop right here, but we'll keep watching. No real setup here with OCX. This one is readily shortable. Now I understand, because it's 57 million share float. CRIS is at 797, nowhere near the 840 breakout level. Michael Good brought up this stock. It's a pump, and I mean, we'll watch it. It's a pump. You can very easily tell it's a pump with just a gradual increase in boom, big red day, but nothing right now to watch. It could drop and make a panic buy opportunity, but the volume doesn't seem that good. Only traded on 11,000 shares. And the other stock, the last stock that I'm watching, a pump, not a pump, SFOR, OTC. It looks like it had a mini drop. I didn't see this. I guess I had a mini drop towards the support level at 14. But that always throws you off if it's up pre-market. Well, not really up pre-market because it's an OTC, but if it opens up pre-market and then it falls towards the level of support, that's always weird. It's better if it just opened where it was, the other day, and then it falls towards the level of support to dip by. But pretty nice, I guess. We'll see how these guys do. No real setups right now. I'll keep looking. Alright, it is 9:38 a.m. Only a few minutes since the last video. I just wanted to record this right here with MCEP. This goes along with what I said yesterday when I saw a symmetrical triangle with TSMP. There's always a chance that it can go down. Now, it's normally like 75-25%. 75% chance that it goes up, 25% that it goes down, but this is clearly one that goes down. Perhaps it depends on how the stock is trading. I mean, it's a shitty stock, it's downtrending. Volume is good, it's fine, but it's up the least out of all of these three stocks. It has a lot of previous spikes. You know, it just might be a crappy stock and it goes down. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it goes up like crazy on a symmetrical triangle. That's why I don't really trade these, but I like to observe them. Maybe if I see some kind of edge, I can always trade these, but with a very small position. For this reason, because it's kind of hard to cut losses on something like that. I would probably trade something that's more liquid, even if it's a 2 million, 2 million shares already traded. It doesn't really. I don't know. We just have better options, you know. ANCN not doing much. OCX keeps downtrending. I don't see any setups right now, any patterns to trade. But I'll keep looking. It is 9:48 a.m. Potential shoulder here with ANCN. I would really not like. I wouldn't like it if this was the head and this is a shoulder, because this isn't a very clean looking shoulder. The idea with trading patterns is that if you trade an inverse head and shoulders, the more people that can see it, the cleaner it looks, the more likely it's going to work out. It could be a shoulder right here, and then this could be the head, and then if it makes a spike here to 50-ish or maybe the high 40s and then rounds off at the same level, or not the same level, doesn't have to be the same level, but it's ideal. You know, then we'll just take a buy. We'll wait for a big red candle or a wick to risk off of. It seems like this one actually trades a decent length. I might actually just miss this one too. I'm kind of conflicted because this might be the shoulder and some people might base it off that, or this might be the head right here. Yeah, the head here, the shoulder here, and it makes a shoulder, or it doesn't do it at all. Of course, this is just, you know, speculation, but I'll just keep watching and nothing to trade right now, but it looks like it could form a pattern. It could. OCX just keeps dropping. Not gonna trade it. I'm not just gonna randomly short it. Oh, it's gonna fade all day. No. I would short towards a spike. Maybe if it spikes and fails to get past 340, but I don't really like these types of setups. It's just. But I need to start being less cynical, because sometimes I'm too damn cynical and I just missed a trade and it works out. I should be skeptical, not really cynical. There's a difference. I don't see any setups here. I'm probably gonna delete this guy. It's just I mean, why would anyone trade this? Now it's only up 8% too, so I'm gonna remove that. I don't know what button did I press to do that, but that stock is gone from the watch list. SPY, by the way, is up like 0.70%, so it's not like the overall markets are affecting these stocks. CRIS is not moving anywhere near 840. The Pennystocking school stock is down a little, but I probably won't trade this. I mean, 20,000 shares, that's really illiquid. Really illiquid, even for an OTC. SFOR, it's a weird thing. Man, this guy's looking so interesting. I guess it depends. If it makes the damn shoulder, you know, I'll consider it an inverse head and shoulders. If I don't have a big green candle or a wick to risk off of, I'll be protected. Or if it breaks that wick or a big red candle bottom, you know, get out my position. Let's just go over here quickly. SFOR. Just a damn stock, a damn weird stock. It's just weird. It just dropped to 14, a very important level of support. At least if you look back at a multi-day chart, and then it just bounces. It's always weird when the stock gaps up and then it drops towards the level of support. It's just strange, but I understand. Sometimes you see a gap up and the morning panics, and those are weird too. Yeah, so we'll keep watching. If this guy makes some kind of a shoulder, I'll be interested in buying. I might do 200 shares. But for now, if this is making the shoulder right here, we're gonna wait for a big wick, ideally something like this guy, or a big red candle bottom, the risk off of something like this, a very flat bottom ideally. And yeah, we'll trade off of that. You know, it's better when the shoulder is on the same level as the other one, because if it's not, then this could be a level of resistance, right? But we'll keep watching. It doesn't have to make an inverse head and shoulder setup, and I might not have to trade it if it does. But we'll keep looking to see if maybe it plays out or not. 9:56 a.m. It could be playing the inverse head and shoulders here, and if it does right here, I'll miss it, and I'll gladly miss it. You could say in theory, in hindsight, you risk off of this wick right here at 4. You have a candle that doesn't move much. You buy the next candle at 409-ish right here, and now it's in the 420s, but it just failed the previous candle. I just don't like it because it was much wider, the shoulder here on this section. I probably missed the setup right here, but I don't feel too bad because it didn't trade. You know, it just doesn't seem very clean of an inverse head and shoulders. I might just be picky too. But that's what you do in theory. You risk off of the wick here. It made a wick instead of a big red candle here at what do you call it, 399-ish. You know, the next candle, it doesn't move much, which is great. It shows that it might be consolidating, holding this level that it's trading at. You buy the next candle here, and now we got a nice spike. I mean, for 412 so far, 450. It might actually choke. It might not get past this level. It might break past it. It all depends on how, you know, the stock is trading. A whole bunch of things go into that. And it could definitely spike past the level and then continue the run. This is an inverse head and shoulders. I was probably just too picky with it. You know, it wasn't too clean, but I've seen way dirtier inverse head and shoulders before. Again, the wick to risk off of was here. Again, it was a wick, not a big you know, big red candle. Very nice. I'll take a screenshot of this and I'll save it right now, or maybe I'll wait a little to see how high or how low it spikes. The only other setup now is to buy the next higher low. So depends. If it just spikes too much, it's not going to be a good setup. But now if it rounds off and then heads down, makes a higher low, so higher than this low here of about 4-ish, especially if it makes one over 420, that's another setup to buy. I've seen that multiple times work out. The only reason why I consider it. But we'll continue to watch and see how this guy plays. Very nice. I mean, even though I didn't trade it, it did play it out perfectly. I'm just making adjustments now, just not being so damn picky. I mean, it did play out. Maybe it was a shorter shoulder, but that also shows that it's getting more volatile. So yeah, I'll probably do a screenshot of this, but I'll be interested in probably buying the first higher low after this setup plays out completely, and we'll take a look then and there. Alright, it is 10:05 a.m. Very nice inverse head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder. The wick to risk off of was 399-ish. Candle that didn't do anything. Shows that potentially it's going to be consolidating, holding the level. I'll buy here. A nice spike. Very nice spike. I mean, it went up from, what, I guess 412-ish to 513. That's $1 on a $4 stock. That's pretty good. And now I'm interested in perhaps buying the first higher low of the inverse head and shoulder setup. I only have but a few screenshots, excuse me, of this stock. Am I salty that I missed it? Yeah, a little. I was too damn picky, probably wanting the super clean textbook chart pattern, I guess, but I've only done this recently with these things. But here was jeez, if I can find it, here's the inverse head and shoulders, I think, and then I made a higher low right here, just a small spike on this guy. I've only started taking these screenshots recently. Here's another one, shoulder, head, shoulder. I should be thankful because this one actually, you know, I'm probably missing the setup by going over it. Yeah, I probably missed it. I mean, it needs to consolidate. I don't call that a higher low if it just does it with one candle. If it consolidates there, I already have the wick to risk off of, which is 41. But if it's just so volatile and crazy that it's just gonna just dip there and then continue this bounce, I mean, so be it. I'm not gonna chase it here, that's stupid. If it consolidates a few more candles and then shows some kind of a curving action like this guy or this guy, I'll be interested, but otherwise I'm not gonna buy that. We already have the wick here, the risk off of, which is 40. Yeah, this is what I want. I wanted to show that it's actually, you know, holding it, using it, like actually rounding off of it. This is looking a bit better. I might be picky now, but if it makes one more candle where it's not moving too much, that could mean something, and then I can risk off of the wick here at 40. And then this will be a confirmed breakout over 450. It breaks past it, drops back towards it, holds support, and then breaks out, and maybe it'll crack 513, maybe not. You know, that depends on how well it plays out. It's looking pretty nice so far. I already have a risk level at 40, which is 5%. I don't like that, but this is a volatile stock. I might be picky, but over 10 cents would have if it gets in the 50s and it holds, I might be interested. Otherwise, I probably missed the setup too. Yeah, I probably missed it right now, trading in the 70s. Kind of weird if it were to drop back to the 50s after spiking towards the 70s, because then that looks sketchy. I would have to wait longer. But I probably missed this one too. No way I would have bought it here. I could have bought it here though. I just didn't like the fact that even though we have the wick here at 41 to risk off of, you know, like buying it in the 60s and then the risk at 40, it's, you know, I mean, that's 5%. I don't want to risk 5%. I mean, I guess I could have traded 100 shares, you know, just to trade and get more experience with that pattern. But this seems to be working out. This is what you call the buying the higher low after the inverse head and shoulders plays out. Shoulder, head, shoulder, higher low, 450 level, confirmed breakout because it broke past it, fell back towards it, held support, and now it can spike anywhere up to maybe resistance here at 512 and fail, or maybe it breaks past 512 and it makes a great move, and maybe even tries to test, I'd say, what, the wick here of 530-ish, and maybe even the day high. Or it could just fail right here, but the point is that you trade stuff in terms of odds. And I butchered this buy here being too picky, and I butchered it here being too picky. At least I wasn't scared. You know, I used to miss trades for being too damn scared to pull the trigger. That's why that's why I have this right here. At least that wasn't the case. At least that was just the fact that I was being too damn picky. I didn't trade last week because there were I missed setups too, and and also setups didn't play out very nicely. I should be kind of thankful because this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, it wasn't so small. Like I've seen some that are so small, like this guy, 2 candles, 4 candles here, 2 candles. That's like, that's hard to trade because it's so small. This one was larger, much better. Probably should have been less picky. And yeah, right here was the first higher low. It made a second high, and I guess that's a higher low too, kinda. And it spiked nicely. Let's look at OCX. I haven't seen this guy keeps falling off a cliff. I guess you could have shorted here because it had another spike. You risk off the wick here from the other, spike. That's not bad, but I was watching this. This is clearly better. Looks like it might try to crack this level here, 513 now. Excuse me, that'll be interesting. And no, I'm not gonna buy this. This is riskier because it could fail. It could barely touch and fail. It could not even touch it and fail. It could touch it and then bounce down. It could break out, sure. It could break out a little and fall. It could do so many scenarios. Definitely riskier. And now if it makes another higher low, higher than this low here in the 450s, sure, you could trade that, but I'm not going to trade that. That's just lower odds because you're going further now. It's going to be the third higher low to buy. I probably am done for today. Just don't see any setups. These setups played out, but I don't see any others. I didn't trade this. That was my bad. CRIS is at $8. Doesn't have the volume to spike and break past 840 for a multi-day breakout. SFOR, we'll just go over it here, although let me just take a screenshot actually. It looks like it might just, it could still break out later, but it looks like it's just gonna touch the level here and fail. So this is going to be ANCN, 3 million share float. Let's just copy it right here, the name, and then inverse head and shoulders, second higher low. Again, only reason why I'm considering this pattern is because I've seen it work out so many times, and now I'm taking screenshots of it so I can look back at. I should probably look back at the charts I saved more often just to get a better idea of how different stocks have played out before, with big shoulders, small shoulders, shoulders above the previous shoulder, below, small heads, big heads, shoulders that form in 2 candle wicks. It actually did break out. That's pretty nice. Is it gonna break out and keep breaking out? Is it gonna break out, just hover above it and fall back down, or just consolidate there at the breakout level? Who knows? But I'm probably just gonna call it off from right here. Yeah, I missed 2 setups, definitely. Was being too picky here, and I was being too picky here. Already had the wick to risk off of. This was ideal because the wick wasn't too far from the entry point. I could have traded larger there. Here, it's okay that I didn't really trade it because I buy at 460 and I cut losses if it cracks 440. That's more than 20 cents on the $4 stock. That's 5%, give or take. I don't like that. Yeah, this thing continues the uptrend. A little salty, not too salty. I learned from it. nice. I guess we'll see if this thing cracks the day high if it tries to. I mean, you know, this wick here could be resistance at 533. You know, just in theory, not really, because it's pre-market, not traded much, but otherwise it can maybe get towards the, yeah, let's see. Damn, this is best case scenario. This one played out very nicely. I mean, I'm glad that I called the patterns, but I was too damn picky. I don't mind missing this one really, because I don't want to risk 5%. Of course I could try to sell, you know, before it gets the wick, but what if it doesn't get to the wick and then it plays out? You know, so I don't mind missing this. I do mind missing this buy right here. You know, because we have the wick at 4. You only risk 9 cents. You know, and we see best case scenario, right? You know, you risk 9 cents, and the reward is at, well, the reward is basically about, you know, 430-ish. I mean, it could have gotten here, the same level here, and just failed, or maybe the neckline at 450. So you risk 9 cents, and your potential is 50, about 50 cents. It goes actually to 540, or if you just want to risk it off of here, it goes to 512. You know, maybe you would start selling, but I would have held, I think, because it held 450. I mean, pretty nicely. This thing could break out. It's doing it very slowly. If it does, it also might make a higher low over this 510-ish level, and then they could try again, or it could fail at 540 here. I mean, we'll see, or it could just fade the rest of the day too. I wonder if this thing's still shortable. Let me actually move the price higher. I'm not trying to get short on accident. Yeah, it's not shortable. OCX is the only shortable stock, and yeah, you could have just shorted this, you know, at the, I guess the spike here would have been really the only level I would have shorted, just and risk it off of here at 34. You short at 25, you risk 9 cents, and then your potential reward is that maybe it only drops to 15. So, you know, not too good in terms of risk reward, but the idea is that it's just going to fade the rest of the day like a lot of other first day stocks that we see. You know, risking off of it, making lower lows, higher lows. I mean, lower lows, lower highs. Here's the wick if you want to risk off of here and buy here, but I would wait at least one more candle to see if it consolidates, because it might just downtrend. We'll see if this thing can crack the day high. It'd be cool. I still wouldn't buy. It doesn't have the characteristics of SPI, you know, where it's trading, you know, massively. It doesn't have the same trading, the same price action that would make me want to buy something up so much. Ooh, actually, well, this is where you'd cut losses, because it cracked the wick right here at 514. If you wanted to risk off of that, you would have definitely had to have cut losses there. But I wouldn't have even bought, because I want to wait at least one extra candle after it makes the wick, right? It makes the wick here, and then you have a candle here. You know, that doesn't move much, because it tells you that it might, I mean, it could still fall like it did here. It might hold the level it's trading at, which is bullish because of the news, the volume, and all of that stuff, and the uptrends. It looks like it might try to make a head and shoulders pattern, but I don't have shares of shorts. But yeah, it looks, I mean, it could break out later. It could try again, but now the pattern is cracked, I think. Still technically can be a higher low from here. Never really made like a higher low like this guy. These are just little tiny breaks. It could still make a higher low and then try again, although we'll have some resistance here and here now. and try to crack the day high, and that'll be interesting to watch. But besides that, I'm just gonna call it off. It's already 10:21. I normally call things off around 10:40ish, and then from there passively look at the market. Yeah, very nice. Inverse head and shoulders, very nice. You know, higher low buy after the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern. It didn't crack the day high, at least not right now. It might be making a head and shoulders pattern, so that will be conflicting. Although, you know, we have like potential head and shoulders. We have a higher low, potentially higher low. Very conflicting, not going to trade that. I also might be kind of salty because I did miss the setup here. So I don't want to revenge trade or try to make up for missing a trade and then lose money. I'll make an update later just to see what this guy eventually did, but that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I learned some lessons. I need to go back and watch this and see what I could have done differently. I probably should have just considered the fact that not all inverse head and shoulders are, you know, textbook pattern clean that you see when you look up inverse head and shoulders in Google Images with a daily chart. The shoulder here got smaller, and that's actually a bullish sign because it shows that volume is picking up. People are interested in it. It's getting volatile. Then it's just taking longer. Sometimes you see the shoulder take longer, and that's bearish. So just gonna continue learning from these setups. I'm gonna rewatch this video, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll just keep learning. It's nice seeing it work out again, buying the higher low after the inverse head and shoulders. You know, and this was a nicer chart, so it played out even nicer. That first one that I saved only spiked a few candles. This one took a bit longer. It also played out the shoulder, the whole setup with more candles. I don't want to drag this on. Yeah, I'll do a recap to see what it does eventually later in the day, but for now, that's all I got. Alright, it is 11:21 a.m. Just gonna do a recap over everything that's happened. Really just very cool, this whole thing here with ANCN, and we did have a head and shoulders pattern. Not completely ideal because it was also making higher lows, but it played out the head and shoulders. No shares are short, otherwise I could have shorted it, but I was a bit conflicted with the way it was making higher lows and how, you know, it could have really broken out the day high if it wanted to. You know, for whatever reason it didn't, and that's just, you know, probability. Head and shoulders, nice downtrend. It never cracked, at least till, you know, 11 a.m. right now. At least as of now, it hasn't broken past the day high. It can, but it didn't here in this movement, in this action. OCX keeps falling off a cliff. It's not, you know, it's not even a cliff. It's just a gradual roll down a hill, but it's just not tradable. I would have only shorted it here. Here I would have shorted it because it could have easily started reversing. It did make a bit of a head and shoulders, but still, I don't feel bad not trading this. That's all I really have. I guess the only other stock was SFOR. And this guy, Tim actually bought probably this candle right here. He actually bought. It's kind of weird. I mean, I've seen that a lot of times. It's just always strange when you see a stock gap up and it falls. I mean, you call it a gap and crap. Some people call it that, but it's just always strange. You know, it did a nice gap up, fell towards support. You risk it off of, I guess, 14. I mean, it's such a cheap stock. Yeah, you risk it off of 14. Breaking 14 will be pretty bad. Did a nice spike towards, did it get 18? It did get 18. I don't really see a clear level where that could have been resistance. Probably not gonna see that here. But it was 18, I guess the round number of 18. And it has fallen ever since. Still a good setup. No more setups anymore. I mean, I want to trade here even if it's back at 14 and cracked under the level. And it's also midday. No reason to buy it now. That's just stupid. So yeah, that's all I have. Pretty cool. Again, inverse head and shoulders. The buy after the inverse head and shoulders setup. Head and shoulders here. Didn't break the day high. It can later, maybe like a 2 p.m. power hour, or randomly in the next hour. I mean, it could do whatever it wants. I probably won't trade it then. I'll probably miss it because I'm doing other stuff. I'm actually working on the PowerPoint, but yeah, just no setups. Besides these two that were very, very clear. Never really an opportunity for OCX besides the buy. Not buy, I mean the short right here. Risking it off the wick. That's all I got. Pretty good day. I'll keep working, I'll do this presentation. I'll start putting these videos live, I think, on YouTube and sharing it on Profitly, so you know, even if I'm jaded or deep down, you know, negative, pushing me down, and then, you know, making these bad trades or whatever, missing trades. Now that other people are going to be watching it, you know, whether that be 1, 2, or 3 people, you know, now it's about not being embarrassed. So it's gonna, I think, in a healthy way, push me to work harder and more accountability. Yeah, and that's why talking to third person, like if I'm talking to you guys, I'd be crazy just talking to myself, I think. I hope you guys enjoy this. And yeah, I'll just keep going at it. That's all I can do, just keep trying.